What's up, guys, and welcome. I'm Calvin Kershaw, and I'm here representing the Houston 100, presented by the Minority Report. We're showcasing prominent Black-owned businesses here in Houston, Texas. Businesses like the Black Store, a local Black-owned beauty supply, spearheaded by one of the creators himself, Mr. Lloyd Ford. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
You like my accent?
You know, it was interesting.
Working on it. Anyway, bro, congratulations on the Black Store and everything that y'all are doing in the community. The Minority Report is happy to have you here.
I appreciate it. I'm glad for the invite.
Cool, man. So let's talk about, a background on you, where you come from. Even though we're friends now,
For sure.
I want to learn more about you.
I mean, of course, I grew up in Houston, Texas. Went to Yates. Grew up right there in 3rd Ward. So, a lot of my upbringing. Don't get me wrong, I did get a football scholarship. I went all the way up to North Dakota for 2 years. I said -55. That wasn't for black folks, so I had to come on back down. I did end up graduating from Prairie View. Had my degree in
PV.
So basically got my degree in management information systems. That's computers. I did work in corporate for a long number of years, but I felt like how hard I worked didn't qualify or tell me how far I was going to go in those industries. So I say when you have or thinking in a pro-black type manner, then you have to have a plan A, plan B, and a plan C. So that's what kind of took me to the direction of owning my own businesses. Even though it was in me, my dad owned his own business for 30 plus years. So it was in me, I just didn't apply it.
Gotcha.
But being in that corporation type of status definitely didn't feed what I needed to do or my community.
So your father, was he your inspiration for?
Oh yeah, I mean, I won't say necessarily my inspiration for wanting to be an entrepreneur, but he definitely spoke that spirit into me. I seen it happening my whole life. Somebody not working for somebody and kind of moving on your own time. And even though I didn't get it, they sent us to school. You go get an education, go get a good job. Was that era that we were in? So that's kind of what I did, but I felt like it really didn't serve me.
Got you. So, well, to that point, the Black Store, right? When people hear the Black Store, I mean, I can only imagine what goes through their head about what kind of store it is. But your space is beauty, hair, right? So let's talk about the motivation for you wanting to start that kind of business.
Well, for one, I have an organization called Creative Group Economics. We're about building wealth and building power through wealth. So we feel like when you're more economically sound, you're more able to solve all of your issues, whether it be education, criminal justice, and all the things that we see black people go through every day. So one thing that we want to make sure that we deliberately coming back here and doing is starting the industry, starting businesses in the black community. And one thing that led us to the beauty supply industry is that it's one of the most heavily exploited businesses in the black community. So we want to make sure that we go and try to take that space back, take it over, and that's why we feature over 50 different black-owned brands in our store. Hopefully we'll be by 100 by the end of the year, and we want to give back and take back that economics that we lost.
See how that whole Houston 100 thing just kind of play out, man. Yeah, and thank you for inviting me to one of those Creative Group Economics meetings we had. I thought it was really impactful. So let's hold there, right? And let's talk about what your favorite aspect of this business, because I've been to some of the events. I love the Black Store, and I do. So what's your favorite aspect of this whole experience, right?
I mean, to be honest, it's really connecting with people. And I feel like, I know a lot of people have different opinions, but I feel like a lot of our status as black people will change once the woman changes in a lot of ways. So we do a lot of the, men, we kind of follow the suit. I tell people that's why they do free at the club before 11, and the ladies get in free because they know the men gonna come. So I feel like once that mindset is changed and transformed and seeing how we can do things in a different way, we will start to kind of have that camaraderie in our neighborhood. So that's why we chose a space in the hood right next door to Asian Beauty Supply. We don't want to be far. So we don't want to change that mindset of when you want something where you need to go. We want to be right there and convenient for you. So, but connecting with the community, connecting with the people, and we don't separate our business from activism. is what we say. So we feel like this is the time that it all needs to be involved. And I know a lot of people say that's bad for business, but I sell to 99.9% black people. I have no reason on acting on the best interests of black people.
Got you. You mentioned the Asian community, of course, and you saying this is one of the most exploited businesses, like with our culture, right? So, one thing I learned was that they have a conglomerate, cooperative.
For sure.
Right? So, speaking on economics, how did y'all initially get funding for this business? It was you, or did you have grants?
To be honest, I didn't want to go a traditional route. We wanted to do it different. Everybody, don't have somebody that they can go to for money. Everybody don't have that bank or that credit. And I tell people all the time, our neighborhood has been split up deliberately. That's why you see Asian people running the beauty supply. You see Indian people usually running the gas stations and corner stores and stuff like that. That happened by, deliberately. And I tell people it's a reason why you're able to go get $100,000 in student loans, $200,000 in house debt. You're able to go get $50,000 to $60,000. That's on the high end, but card note. But you can't go get a $30,000 business loan,
right?
Because they can't be invested in your economic security, because that's where our money. Everywhere that we're weak, it feeds other communities. Right. So that's why we wanted to say we want to make sure that we be deliberate in ourselves. So we didn't use no credit, we didn't use no banks. I literally put together a PowerPoint, put together different presentations, made it together, and so we literally went and did a creative group economics and got people, talked about stock, put together our company as a C Corp, and made sure that people got a return. People was able to see where the money is going, and just a full transparency. So we did a different type of, I wouldn't say crowdfunding, but we went at individuals in our community that we know have that wherewithal to give money, and made sure that we were able to give them that security in our plan to make them want to give. So.
Right, cooperative economics, bro. That's really impactful.
So
I want to ask you, now that we're mentioning that economics is a real challenge that we as black people face, especially minority-owned businesses, but black people more so, right? That's a real challenge. What have been some of the challenges that you faced spearheading this thing?
To be honest, you start to see in a lot of these areas, the reason why black beauty supplies don't move close to Asian ones is because once you move too close, then you will literally have wholesalers in areas like hair, braiding hair, things that black women usually buy in bulk. You can't get those accounts. And they would use the excuse that you're too close to the Asian one that may purchase, don't get me wrong, Asian store may purchase $100,000 worth of supply in one order. But again, they're splitting it up between 3, 4, 5 stores. But black people, we don't have that same, I'm not saying we don't have that ability, we don't have that same cooperative partnership mindset yet to go after these same things. And even before we started the black store, I literally went to every other black beauty supply brand before we started ours to say, hey, how could I grow your brand? How can we partner? Because I didn't want to recreate the wheel. But nobody really seen the vision. And that's probably over 8 different black-owned beauty supplies here in Houston, or hair products or hair brands. But it didn't stop anything. It just kind of made us where we had to go. But it happened the best way it did, because now we have full reign to develop our brand and give it to other people at the same time.
For sure. Really did it grassroots. I didn't know that, the whole thing about how they order in bulk and then the challenge that you face because of the close proximity. So I think that's something we needed to hear.
Look, and I tell people it's not isolated. I just went to Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and it's even worse. Like you would think that they would be ahead of us, but they're ahead of us in the partying, but not necessarily the business aspect of the black community. And a lot of them face the same challenges that people face here. And everywhere that we go, we face these same challenges in our neighborhood, and the same people own these same industries all around the U.S. So it's not stationary to just Houston or anywhere.
Got you. So let me ask you, because you literally just opened the black store not too long ago.
January.
Right. So when will you get your big break? When you feel like, bruh, we did it, we doing it, this is, we here, or do you feel like you already had it? Because
Oh, no. I always feel like it's ample room for improvement. And like I said, this is not something that we just want to say, hey, we started one, we good. Like, nah, we won't be complete until we've taken over the black beauty supply industry in every major city in the United States. And it's doable. You know, we just have to want to do it. We can't take no for an answer. And we have to change the way that we approach our businesses. And I tell people that's the reason why we taking in these 100 brands of black beauty supply brands, because for one, we can't buy from each other because we don't know each other.
Right.
You know, so two, when we highlight these brands, now when we start our own warehouse and distribution, now we can say, hey, instead of going to those regular Cantus and the brands that are no longer black, now we guess what? We got these, and we got over 100, and we helped them get a supply of a couple thousand.
Gotcha.
Now guess what? Now he got to come get it in distribution from us
That's
instead
dope.
of another Asian spot.
That's dope, and I think that the more recognition and awareness you get, man, I really do believe that dreams don't come true. I mean,
Sure.
just think about it. Just had Christopher Reed, kid from Kid and Play, whom I had the pleasure to meet. Thank you for that.
Come on.
Who would you say is your dream client? Like, you can work with that one person, you can hire that one person, whatever. Like, who is that? Who you think gonna set it off?
Well, for one, I don't think that person is living right now.
Okay, let's start with that person.
What, the person
That's not living.
that's not living?
Yeah.
To be honest, it would be somebody like a Malcolm X or something. It got to be somebody that's revolutionary mindset, that to take people to a different plane.
What about Madam C.J. Walker?
You're right. I mean, she is a good person, but don't get me wrong. You know, she had a brand, but if we would have set it up like it needs to be set up, it would still be visible today.
Gotcha.
And we want to just do it different. We want this to be ran by black people, benefited by black people. And, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, people always hear me say, your skin is your ticket in.
So today, if somebody that's living, influencer, whatever, entrepreneur, who you calling?
Man, that's a hard choice. I mean, there's a couple different people that I would say out there, but it would be,
Who gonna bring them to the black stuff?
man, I don't know. But to me, it's not about who gonna bring them to the black store. It's about who is going to support the long-term vision,
Gotcha.
not just for the business, but for black people.
There we go.
Because, you know, it's not about, you know, long-term vision. It's not about right now. Everybody talking about generational wealth, but who is actually putting together those steps to make generational wealth? And I tell people I feel like power is a bad word, but we need to be gathering our own power, because either you are exerting power or power is getting exerted on you.
It's real.
And I tell people, when you go to that job and they tell you you can't wear that hairstyle, that's power.
That's power.
Being exerted on you. You're not exerting power. So, you know, we have to be working for our own power.
You're right, man. So during this process, you know, because I think I've known you for about a little bit over a year or so, man.
Sure.
And before the black store, before I was conscious of the whole black store idea, it was CGE, it was Creative Group Economics.
For sure.
So during this process, what have you learned about yourself in this growing process, and how have you changed, if at all?
Oh, I changed tremendously. For one, I feel like I've shedded a lot of things, from beliefs to, I'm not gonna say baggage, but you learn to only care about the things that you can control, and the things that you don't control, you don't allow yourself to be stressed or hold on to them.
Right.
So I would say, if anything, it's finding yourself. And I tell people, they always say the war won't be televised. It's because the war starts in your own mind. And once you can defeat your own self, like, then you come to self. And I tell people all the time, they say, hey, I'm getting off social media, I'm just deleting it. I say the power and the discipline don't come in deleting it. It comes in not using it when you got it on your phone. So, you know, I think we have to come with a more self-discipline. And I think that's what I gained more than anything. Self-discipline in what I believe, what I want for my people, what I want for my family. And, you know, once you have that drive and mission and fire, I guess you don't see too much in nothing else.
Yeah, bro, you making me proud. Please, man, represent.
Come on, man.
Real talk. Prairie View does produce productive people.
Come
If
on.
y'all didn't know, there's a proof in the pudding right here, bro. So, I think this is one of those golden questions. Like, for entrepreneurs that are coming up? Because we have more entrepreneurs and wanting to be entrepreneurs than ever before, especially with this whole movement that we've been seeing. Give us some of that budding advice, right? What are you gonna tell a young cat or a young lady that wants to be in your place?
For sure.
Cause you got a lot of them, all the lashes.
I mean,
and the
look.
stitches in there.
I tell people, consistency. If you're not consistently working on your brand or you getting better, ain't nobody gonna do it. We can say we get tired. Don't get me wrong. They said Elon Musk on his birthday, he worked the full 24 hours, and that's somebody with the money, the resources, the time, and he outworking you. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm not telling nobody don't celebrate your birthday, but I know people that celebrate their birthday for a full month. Like, I get that, but I got work to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not against or saying, hey, it's all about work. Nah, but I know when I go on a vacation, I want to be able to stay another month, a week, because I feel like I don't have to report nowhere. Everything that I want to do is where you at. So my thing for young entrepreneurs, just be consistent in what you do. Be disciplined. Because in that discipline, in those steps, and my dad used to always say, in that extra mile is when you reap your greatest reward. So I tell people, go that extra mile.
Wow. So your father was prominent in your life.
Come on.
I think that's dope, bro.
For sure.
I do think that's dope. So for that young entrepreneur, in which we have so many of them, right? Talking about consistency, I think that we should be consistent in visiting the Black store. I do my best. You know what I'm saying? When I'm buying hair products, I'm coming to you, bro.
Come on.
So, and I send people your way. I was sponging my hair yesterday because I got that fresh fade. You know what I'm saying? I had that kosher glow. And somebody, mama pulled up and was like, I'm just waiting to see what this gonna do to your hair. She was saying she needed to get a sponge or something like that. And it was that instance where I'm like, oh yeah, you should definitely get one of these. It's like, what can I even get? I said, the Black store. She was like, I said, yeah, it's a Black-owned beauty supply on Cullen.
Come on.
And she was in her phone. I think we need to be consistent in doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, we don't even know each other, right? And there's a Black-owned beauty supply around the corner, but you probably never heard of it. So what you got going on is an even bigger movement. You know what I'm saying? So for that young person who you want to visit your store, speak to that. Where can they find you on social media, website, whatever? How do they visit you?
One thing I always say, we always active on our social media, personal, Ford Can't Lose. You can always go to our group, Creative Group Economics, or our store, the Black Store Inc. Or you can just come in the store and you can always usually talk to me or my partner that's an owner. And I tell people, we don't just want people to be involved in what we doing. We want to be involved in what you doing. So bring us your ideas, bring us your something. If we can help you put it together, we want to help you fund it. We want to help you put it together. We want to make it successful. And we don't matter. We don't have to be leaders. We don't have to be the head of it. We want to make sure that you great. So, when you come to the Black store, just be ready to be great.
And y'all have events.
Come on. Pop-up shops.
You tell us some of the stuff you got coming, if you would.
Just to let y'all know, we got pop-up shops. Usually we have one every third Friday at the All Black Everything. That's usually from 5 to 9. We're going to start something, pop-up shops, on the last Sunday of the month. And if you want to learn how to clean your gun, on Wednesday we got clean your gun training and rifle. And of course we'll have get your license and stuff too. So anything that adds to the Black revolutionary movement, that's what we want to do. Come on. Oh yeah, come join the nail salon as well. We have a barbershop coming soon. So definitely come be a part of the greatness of the Black store. We want to help everybody be great.
Man, that's awesome, bro. Well, Lloyd, I can't thank you enough for everything, especially for coming here to share your story with us, the Houston 100, the Minority Report. People, again, Houston, Texas, the Black store, it's on Cullen Boulevard. Check it out. Follow the social media. That's exactly what we're about. I'm Calvin Kosher, and you have been tuned in to the very first interview, the Black store. We'll see you soon.